Hey, what's up? It's Jordan, the Millionaire Millennial, and today I want to talk about some comments that I got on a couple of my recent videos. Basically, concerns about what would happen or how do I stop someone from stealing my product idea and then going off and making it their own. And so today I really want to address why you actually don't really need to worry about that happening, and if it did, what you should actually do at that point. So the very first thing is, if you are going out with your idea and you're kind of like getting people interested, or you're seeing if it's a good market, kind of figuring out if it's something that other people want, then you're exposing that idea to a lot of different people, right? And the big concern is that someone's going to take your idea and they're going to implement it. They're going to make the product, they're going to steal all of your thunder or whatever. And really what's interesting is I almost see that as a good thing. And I'll explain why, because I know it doesn't sound like a good thing. But essentially, if someone else hears my idea and they're willing to go take that idea, find a market, build a product, and then sell that product, that means it's a good idea. So for me, that's idea validation, right? I've just validated my idea because someone thinks it's so good that they want to go do it themselves. And what helps is, even if they were to do that, even if they go and they become a big success, that's fine, right? There's a lot of products out there that do exactly the same thing, but they're just marketed differently. So, a great example of this is, anything that has to do with, young kids, when you sell stuff to their parents, or anything to do with like weddings. If you just search for like white cake, right, it's a certain price, but if you add the word wedding cake to it, or bridal shower cake or whatever, then it's like double the price. It's the same product, but it's just marketed to a different audience. And so that's why I'm not concerned with someone taking my idea. So for example, in several videos ago, I gave all of you guys a great idea of a product that I want, that if you were to go make, I'd be the first in line for it. And that was a finance platform that basically automatically withdraws money out of my checking account every week and then automatically invests it into a portfolio that I determine, and then it automatically rebalances it every week. That'd be amazing. That would be a great product. And I don't know the monetization path for it. I don't know how much you charge for it, but it'd be awesome. And I have been thinking about it a lot, and if I don't find something that does that, I will probably go build it myself, because it's like, that's a good product, and I feel like that's the product that a lot of other people want. But that's an example of me saying, hey, look, here's my idea, world. What do you think? You think it's a good idea? And by the way, if you do think it's a good idea, drop a comment, let me know. But I can almost guarantee you, like 99% certainty here, that nobody watching this video is gonna go actually make that platform. Because A, it's pretty complicated, B, it's kind of hard. And so I know with basically zero uncertainty that no one's going to go and take my idea. And look, if they did, right? If someone watching this wants to go and make that platform, DM me, I'll be your first customer. And also 2, I know that that's a really good idea. And then 3, I can just go build the product myself and market it to a slightly different group of people and have the same exact outcome. And so really what I think this entire idea, kind of the crux of this idea is people thinking in a more scarcity type mindset than an abundance mindset. And so if you've never read 7 Habits for Highly Effective People, that's one of the habits, is that you should always try to think in an abundance mindset, right? And I get that can be hard, especially, given certain circumstances in the world, or maybe, you're in a more impoverished country, and so there actually isn't enough to go around. But if you're constantly thinking in this scarcity mindset, and that is essentially, there's not enough, right? There's not enough to go around. If you're constantly thinking that way, then you end up not doing things that could very well make you a massive success, because you're scared of someone else taking your idea, or you're worried that there's not enough market share, blah, blah, blah. And what really helped me kind of put this in perspective, because I used to think the same thing, but what helped me put this in perspective was, like, if I charge just $20 for a product, $20 a month for a product, if I get 1,000 customers, that is $20,000 a month. I mean, that's more than enough to live off of, right? That kind of money would change basically anybody's life, right? I mean, that's great money. And so, it's what, almost like $250,000 a year. And so, putting that in perspective is like, okay, 1,000 people, that's it. That's all you really need. And there's billions and billions of people on this planet. It's like, it's so abundant. There's so many opportunities, and there's so many different markets and niches and ideas that could be monetized to a point of just 1,000 customers at $20 a month. It's like, that's not even that expensive for the user. And you don't even need that many users to make a full-time income. Not even just a full-time income, but I mean $250,000 a year, right? And then at that point, you just scale it or sell it or whatever you want, but it's still a good product. And so, like, it's not something to inherently worry about, because if someone were to take your idea and maybe they go get 1,000 customers, there's still another 1,000 customers out there that would gladly buy your product, even if it's the same product, right? Even if it's the same exact product. I mean, if you go on Amazon right now and you search for spatula, silicone spatula, there's hundreds of spatulas, and they all get sales. I mean, except for the ones on like page 10 or whatever. But I mean, it's like, yes, the market leader gets the majority of the sales, but that's not to say that another product can't come in and solve a problem or target a different audience or a different niche with the same product. Now, I'll try to give you guys a good example here. So let's say you had a really good idea for like a cool type of water bottle, right? It's a water bottle that's got like a, let's say some sort of core that keeps it cold, and then it's got like a thing around it to, I don't know. It's a really cool water bottle, all right? And you're sharing that idea with people and trying to get them excited or get them involved with the idea. And someone goes, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna take that idea. I'm gonna make it." And so they do. And let's say they go and they target athletes with their water bottle, right? They're like, the best water bottle for athletes. If you're an athlete, you have to have this water bottle. And so you see that and you go, okay, sure. But actually, it's a really good water bottle for people that like to work out on their lunch break, just normal people that like to work out on their lunch break, because it can keep the water really cold, or maybe you put your favorite drink in there and it keeps it really cold or warm or whatever. And then at your lunch break, it's still refreshing. And so you go after the people, the lunch break warriors, if you will, the people that like to work out on their lunch break, instead of athletes, right? It's the same exact product, but you're targeting two different groups of people. And so you can be the dominant force, you can be the market leader in those two different markets with the same product. And I think that's something that's honestly hard to understand. Like I'm still somewhat wrapping my mind around it, that you can have the same exact products and be targeting two different audiences. So that is something that's kind of hard to understand. I get that. But really the bigger reason, right? So that's reason one. The bigger reason is that execution is key, right? Ideas don't mean anything. They really don't. I've had a lot of ideas over my life. I've executed on a lot of them, failed on a lot of them, have not executed on some of them, and have been waiting to execute on some of them, right? And so there's a lot of ideas out there. Everybody has good ideas all the time. And to say, oh, my idea is really amazing, that's fine. And maybe it is amazing. But odds are no one's going to execute on your idea because it's not theirs, right? People are more romantic about their own ideas. And so even if someone sees an idea that's really, really good, and they go and they do it, at least that's market validation for you. But the odds are is that no one's actually going to take your idea. Like, they're really not, because people, when they hear an idea, right? So I hear ideas all the time. People DM me with ideas. They say, hey, you want to partner on this idea with me? I want to build this. And I tell them, I'm like, look, ideas don't mean anything. And frankly, I'm very busy. And that's the majority of people that would have the capacity to steal your idea, right? They're already busy with their own thing. And so they're not going to take your idea because they don't have time to take your idea, okay? It's almost the curse of entrepreneurship is you see opportunity everywhere, right? Like I look at a product and I say, oh, it would be so much better if it did this instead, or if it worked like this. And then I want to go and I want to make this product and make it better, right? But I can't because I'm only one person and I can't, do 500 different things and make 500 different products. So, and that's the case for most people that you'll share your idea with. They're either already busy or, and this one's probably more prevalent, they're never going to do anything successful anyway. So they're not ever going to launch any kind of product, right? They're just what I would call, window shoppers of ideas, right? They're like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that someday. But they never will. They say it's a good idea, and then they're like, I really want to do this, but then they never do, right? And so they're not busy with other projects or other businesses because they never will have one, because of that mentality, which is an entirely different topic that I'm not going to get into in this video, about seeing something, seeing opportunity, and then not seizing the moment, right? That's a very bad mentality to have, obviously. And I'm not going to get into it in this video because that's not what this is about. But essentially, if you share your idea with a bunch of people, the mass majority of them might think it's a good idea, but don't have the capacity or desire to copy it. And the people that maybe do think it's a good idea and do want to copy it are too busy to copy it. And then maybe there's a very, very small chance that someone might actually take that idea and run with it. And that's just market validation for you. And so a great example actually is a new, well, I won't call it a software, but it's the entertainment platform called Quibi. And Quibi is relatively new. They raised like $2 billion in funding, but everyone is watching them, right? All of the mainstream entertainment companies are watching them. Netflix, Disney, Hulu, they're all watching, right? They're not copying, right? They're not taking their idea and doing it because they want to see if that's a good idea. They want to see if that market has been validated. Because I guarantee you that the people that founded Quibi were not the first people to think of that idea of having short, like 10-minute long, really high production quality entertainment. And so everyone's watching, because the traditional form of entertainment is you gather around a TV on the couch and you watch an half-hour long TV show or an hour and a half long movie. And Quibi wants to change that into a 10-minute, you can watch little 10-minute sections, right? Little 10-minute long TV shows, but they're really high production quality. And everyone is watching. And in fact, everyone is also invested in it, right? Like almost all of the major media companies and entertainment companies are actually invested in Quibi. And so it's interesting because if they're successful, and I don't think they will be, and they're not hitting the markers that they should be, because I don't think consumers are ready to change and go 100% mobile with their entertainment and ditch normal sitting on the couch watching TV type entertainment. But if they were to be successful, I can guarantee you Netflix will follow, Disney will follow, Hulu will follow, all of them. They'll all have like high production 10-minute shows that people can just watch on their phone when they're waiting in line at the store, or they're riding in the car or whatever. And that's the idea of Quibi. And so is it a good idea? I don't know. I can almost guarantee you that all of these other media companies have had that idea before, but they didn't execute on it. And maybe they shared it with a bunch of people to see if it was a good idea. And the guys that founded Quibi were like, oh, that's a good idea, we're going to do that. And then they actually ran with it. And so now everybody's watching. We're like, okay, is this going to be a successful idea? Because if it is, then we can go make it and we can market it to a different audience, right? Our audience, right? Disney has their entire own, world of people that want to watch their type of content, and they can go market it to those people. And so the world's just going to watch and we're going to see what happens. But that's basically the summation of where I'm trying to get at today is most people are not going to want to steal your idea, because maybe your idea is bad, first off. And if someone does steal your idea, you should be very excited about that, actually, because that means that it's A, worth stealing, and B, if they're actually successful, it means that that's a proven market, and now you can go make the product and market to a slightly different market and be just as successful. You're basically allowing someone else to take all the risk of doing it first. And so like either way, it's a good thing, because you're getting your idea out there and you're testing it and making sure that the market's viable. So that's still something you want to do. Like you should not be afraid of someone taking your idea and running with it, because it's not going to happen. Like it's very, very unlikely. Like I said, I just gave my idea for this finance platform that I would want to buy. Like if someone makes it, let me know, seriously. But no one's going to do it. I can almost guarantee you no one's going to do it, because either they're not going to do anything at all, and they're just kind of like window shopping, and they're like, oh, that would be a good idea, I should do that someday. Or two, they're already busy. Because there's the two different kinds of people, the people that execute on stuff and the people that don't. And either of those people are not going to steal your idea. And then maybe a third person that actually thinks it's so good that they're like, okay, I'm actually going to do something this time. And then they go do it. But odds are they probably won't do it very well. And they're not going to do it as well as you're going to do it, because it was originally your idea, and so you probably already have an idea for a market and all of the features. And so it's really just not something to worry about. And that's kind of what I want to end with today, is just don't sweat it. Like if you think it's a good idea, you should be happy to tell other people about it, and you should encourage them to go run with it, like I'm doing with this finance platform idea. I'm like literally telling people, hey, is this a good idea? Would you use this? And also, if you want to go make it first so that I don't have to take the risk, go ahead. But yeah, that's essentially all I have for today. So hopefully that frees up your mind a little bit and opens you up to actually going and pursuing your idea and sharing it with people and getting people interested in it, and not worrying if someone's going to take your idea, because really they're not going to. So that's all for today, and I'll see you guys next week.